And of course, I did point out that we'll be joined by Umama Sanelisiwe Nyamambi, who is the Senior Nursing Officer and Matron at Mpilo Central Hospital. She is also the Public Relations Officer for Mpilo Central Hospital. Ngiyakwamukela Mama Sanelisiwe Nyamambi. Okay, and so we dive straight into it really. Kindly tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role.
Okay, thank you, listeners. Good afternoon. My name is Sanelisiwe Viki Nyamambi. I am a matron, like highlighted to you, and I happen to be the hospital's public relations officer. I work at Mpilo, and I've been in the field for the past 15 years. Briefly, that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And so, well, you are one of the people in the country that have survived COVID-19. I mean, that's really huge. How did you first know you possibly had the virus? And at what point did you decide to go and do a COVID-19 test?
To be honest with you, when I got you, I never thought I had COVID.
Okay.
Initially, I thought it was just a common cold or malaria. So I just told myself if I rest for a few days, I'll be okay.
Wow. Okay.
And then after 4 to 5 days, I think, that when the illness got worse, my husband was forcing me to go to hospital. You know, when you are a nurse, it's not easy to take the patient role. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
True.
Yes, I was literally forced to go back to hospital, and I was offered a COVID test because I was pyrexia. My temperature was elevated. And as you know, an elevated temperature is the most common symptom. And the fear of having to undergo that test was really something else. But I had to go for it. I was not told.
Wow, and from what you have just said, it's clear to see that it wasn't an easy road, really. And how, after the tests, what really happened? What were you encouraged to do in order to keep yourself, at a recovery mode and protect others as well?
I was like a health worker. I always had my mask on. And I made sure when I was still at home, I actually told my family not to interact with me. I had to self-isolate before I got my result.
Okay.
But no, the children, they kept coming just to check if I was okay.
Wow.
And when I got to hospital, I was placed in sort of a side ward. Since I was suspected that time. But knowing people, we are Africans.
Yeah, of course.
It's for them to literally use ourselves. What did the colleagues that I had worked with for a long time?
Okay.
They kept encouraging me, giving me the now therapy to say, no, you'll be fine. Maybe it's not even because that was affecting. Just wait for the result.
Wow. Okay, and that really makes a lot of sense. I mean, being a frontline worker, you're used to taking care of people. But then how did you feel when you tested positive to COVID-19 and you realized that someone else may need to take care of you? I mean, the tables had turned, if so to say.
After having been given the result, I went numb. For a few minutes, I think. But I took other strength thereafter and told myself, this is reality, I just have to face it.
True.
Yeah, I really got scared. But the fact that I had a support system around me, that's my family and my best friends, Nanzeni, they gave me that hope to say, you'll be fine. We'll be with you no matter what. And that alone gave me hope to say, at least I have people around me. so things will be okay.
True. What's your take on the necessity of the support system for those that may be going through that situation that you went through?
Oh, okay, thank you. It's really important for one to have a support system. A strong one should be most.
Okay.
Because really, if one has a weak support system, I don't see them recuperating. Remember, this is a deadly disease. Everyone is afraid of dying. They're even afraid of seeing you, let alone touching. But these guys were there for me until I was okay.
And now you have also pointed out on the importance of the support system, Sanelisiwe. I mean, still on that, how really did your family and those closest to you react when they found out that you had tested positive?
You are right, Kaya. It's very important. What I can say is that the time I was given these results, those were around me. That's my family and my best friend, like I told you. It didn't show much. They were not so scared like myself.
Wow.
All they could say, they just told me, no, things are okay. Everyone is testing COVID these days, and the recovery rate is high. There's no need to worry. But, well, to some, it was a blow, I think. They got worried. I remember there is a sister of mine who cried upon getting the news that I had tested COVID positive. She literally cried. Because she thought I was dying.
Oh, shame. And, now that you've mentioned that someone was actually crying because they were hurt and they assumed or rather foresaw the worst, what was it like, that situation when you had to, at the same time, be strong for others as they also were being strong for your sake?
I did try my best to hold my tears back, but then I couldn't. I could just find myself crying here and there for no apparent reason. When someone calls, you just check how you're doing, I'll just cry.
Of course.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. And the fact that you are now considered an infectious individual to be admitted in an infectious institution, the thought of it, it's not easy.
Yeah, I understand. And that makes a lot of sense, really. And now, it's no secret that there is no proven cure for COVID-19. And the country, of course, recently began vaccinating people for COVID-19. What are some of the medical routines that you did for your recovery, like in your case?
Okay, in my case, a lot of investigations were done because I had told myself I do not have this COVID. Instead, I suspected maybe it could be malaria, TB, pneumonias, and so on. So a lot of investigations were done. For instance, the chest X-ray, which revealed that my lung was the left lung in particular. Blood were collected. I was frail.
Okay.
So blood were collected for HIV. I was offered an HIV test and I was quick to take it. The doctor was actually surprised to say, but Metron, you seem not to be worried at all about this HIV test. I told him, no, I have no choice. And in any case, whatever the outcome, I just have to accept it as it is. So an HIV test was done. Luckily, it was negative, but then they got surprised. How come you are looking so frail and your blood investigations are revealing that there is some infection? What then could it be? A malaria check was also done and it was negative. Then the COVID test came. The COVID test result, which was positive. That's when they started treating. Referring rather, because I was at Impilo initially, Then I got referred to United Life Hospitals. I hope you know there is a COVID center there.
Of course.
Yes, I had never been to that place. It was scary.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, it's a whole new place under not favorable conditions, really. That makes a lot of sense on that regard. And you know, you pointed out that at some point you were suspecting this and that because it hadn't really dawned on you that it could be COVID-19, and you know, you were worried and you had to undergo a lot of tests. What word of advice do you have for someone who may be suspecting this and that, and maybe they are afraid to get tested for COVID-19 and all that?
I would encourage them to test for COVID as soon as possible. Actually, that should be the first test they should do.
Okay, and thank you for that. You even mentioned that you underwent a lot of tests, and of course you said the HIV tests were just the least of your worries, but then there could be somebody in a situation where they are undergoing all those tests, and because of that they're getting somewhat frustrated and stressed out because they don't really know what to expect. Any words of advice, really, like so that they could maybe get strength during such a trying time, just like you managed to survive and sail through it?
Yeah, people differ. We manage situations differently. In my case, I just surrendered everything to God and told myself, whatever the outcome, I will have to face it. And then it needs one to gather that strength to say, I'm ready for anything.
Wow.
And again, you need a support system, a very strong support system. Yeah, it will really assist one in getting the courage to understand all these tests.
So, Sanelisiwe, may you share briefly with the listeners like your journey to recovery from COVID-19 and the coping mechanisms that you applied whilst you were still in isolation?
Okay, Kaya. You know how the isolation area is like?
Yeah.
Like the word is self-explanatory to say you are isolated, you are by yourself. In my case, I was by myself in a side ward. I think the nurses there assumed that since I was a healthcare worker, I knew everything about COVID. I was in a side ward. I was placed in a side ward, and the nurses, knowing that they admitted a matron, they thought I knew everything. Yet when you are a patient, honestly, you are just as good as any other patient.
Okay, ma'am, and that really makes a lot of sense. Like, you said earlier that you were used to being the one taking care of others, and now you had to be taken care of, and you were in a lonely place, if so to put it. What is and so what are some of the thoughts that were, you know, gathering in your mind during that time, and even the negative ones? How did you overcome them?
The thought of dying was the most traumatic experience I had during that time. Because there were periods where I would gasp for air. I couldn't even shout for help. And there was no one coming in the room. Well, I cannot blame them because they cannot be with patients throughout, considering that COVID is infectious. Staff will do their rounds, medication rounds, meal times, and so on. Then they did not spend much time with us as patients. So that thought of dying alone made me worry so much. But thank God there are friends who were so thoughtful. They sent me data. I kept myself occupied somehow. I would just Google this and that, watch YouTube videos, go on WhatsApp here and there. And sleeping, obviously, because when I ill, you spend most of the time sleeping. That's how I managed to cope.
Wow. And somebody here just got in touch and they're saying, hi, Kanye. That's a nice but touching program there. I have been through it. Ngase ngizibona sengivalelise abantu abami. It was a very painful situation, and you have also alluded to that, like the painful nature of the situation. And that's a listener there sharing briefly with us that they can relate to what we are talking about.
Yeah.
And yes, in case you're just joining us and you are wondering ukuthi sixoxa ngani kwenzakalani, we are still talking to Sanelisiwe Nyamambi, who is the senior nursing officer or matron for Mpilo Central Hospital, also the public relations officer, and she's been in the field for the past 15 years, really working in the health sector. She is a COVID-19 survivor, and she is sharing her story towards her recovery from the time she was confirmed positive for COVID-19. So you also mentioned that you were kept busy, you kept your mind busy, and are there any forms of maybe concoctions that you may have taken that maybe aided your recovery during that time?
Obviously, Tanya, I'm a proud African.
Of course.
I have a list of them, if I still remember very well.
Okay.
Some of which I'm still taking even today.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I took ginger, garlic, cinnamon, and honey. A lot of fruits and vegetables. Luckily, I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
I tolerate vegetables very, very much. So I made sure I took those 3 hours. You understand? I would choose ginger every 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Here and there, I attempted to steam, but though I don't know, maybe it works for others, it didn't work for me. Each time I attempted to steam, I would sort of gasp more. It made the situation that I was.
Okay.
I'm not saying steaming is bad, no. Maybe it depends. But in my I survived on those.
Kuyezwakala kakhulu. Sisese khonapho ehambeni lwakho kuyenzakala ukuthi kube khona abanye mhlawumbe abakuxwayisa ukuthi yenza lokho kungakusiza, sebenzisa lokho kungakusiza. Mhlawumbe okunye njalo ukubona la ukuthi lokho ngeke kuze kunisebenzele. How did you manage to deal with such?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. You can't just ridicule them like that. They'll tell you, grind ginger, whatsoever, mixed with lemon, guava, what's this other one? Gum tree, eucalyptus. Make a concoction, add the cooking oil, a whole lot of stuff. You just accept. I think it's very important to live as an individual. You get the information, we should say when you work in when's the right for you. Because I got a whole lot of them from all corners. And I just decided to stick to my ginger, turmeric, garlic, and honey.
Okay, and somebody here is also briefly sharing their own story, and they're saying, good afternoon, Kanye. I had COVID-19. I spent the day crying. My sister told me if I cry, I would die. I had to heal the mind. Healing is mental. The following day, I was feeling better. I was isolated, chatting with my cousins through the door. It made life easy. The stress was gone. Family is everything. And somebody here is also saying, hi Kanye, thank you for the discussion, but then how do I assist umuntu ophathekileyo nge-COVID esiyabe sihlala la endlini. Maybe you could assist on that one, Sister Nyamambi. Somebody is asking on how best they can assist somebody who's ill from COVID-19, lapho isolated essentially.
Okay, maybe assistance, yeah. I work to the Sister Alliance. Assistance comes in various forms. In my situation, I was bedridden. Maybe in his situation, it's just someone who's ill, but they are up and about.
Mm-hmm.
But engakutsho uassista umuntu akusikho ukuthi umuntu useyinto ebewalaphana ivalelwe yodwa. Uyabungena and make sure you don't spend more than 15 minutes in that room.
Okay.
Mina umuntu kumele angene just for this period. Umnika ukudla, uyangezisa, umnika izigqoko, something like that. Angaqedi 15 minutes ephakathi kwaleyo ndawo. I hope ukuzenzekile imlaleli.
And of course, she is from the Zimbabwe Christian Alliance under the Church's Convergence on Peace and Conflict. So this is a consortium of Christian organizations actively working in communities across all the 10 provinces in the country to promote peace and reconciliation in Zimbabwe. And of course, namhlanje we're paying particular attention to the welfare of COVID-19 patients in our society. Based on your journey, esikhangela phela uhambo owaluhambayo ngesikhathi lesi, amazwi bani enduduzo la ukuqinisa ongawachiyela abalaleli, esikhangela ukuthi wena usuthe waluhamba lolu hambo kodwa suthe njalo walulama.
Balaleli engali cebisa khona amazwi enduduzo engalinika wona ukuthi impilo kayigcina ngakhonapho. Ungazitshela ukuthi positive nge-COVID. That does not mark the end of life. Iqalisela khonapho impilo entsha. Tell yourself sengikala impilo entsha. That way uyaphileka. Lokulandela okutshelwayo. Siyazi ungagula kuyathi ziba. Yabo ngana usacabanga usela ngqondo. But it's very important to listen to providers of care. Ungeyisi. Kuqakathekile ukuthi sithi maintain ama relations labantu esiphila labo phandle la. Ngoba mina if I'm to tell you ukuthi umngani wami, my best friend uSinanzeni Moyo wama lami from kuqala kwazi kwase ekugcineni. My husband Khulumani Nyamambi, my sons were always there for me. Kodwa ngasasilwa ukuthi nganza sala ngiyi-1. Yebo kambe la ifamily yami lapho enzalwa khona lapho ngindele khona, but there are people ababe close kuwe lokana ukuthi without them you cannot survive.
True.
Luckily my family was there for me. Namhla lokhu they are always there for me.
Wow. Sibashayela ihlombe njalo ngokuthi bame lawe ngesikhathi sobuzima obunjalo. Amazwi bani ongawachiyela labo mhlawumbe abalezihlobo labangane esezithe zabanjwa lubhubhane lwe-COVID-19 mhlawumbe abalokwesaba lokuthandabuza ukuthi pho ngimnakekela ngithini, ngimphathisa ngithini?
Uqondile kakhulu khona abantu abaningi balovalo ungathiwa usule-COVID besaba lokufika khona egedini lakho. Bayesaba lokuthi bakufonele i-COVID le bazayithatha ngefoni. Singenyanyani isihlobo okuqakathekileyo kulandela indlela zokuvikela ukungayithathi. Ukuthi kumele sihlale sigqoka ama-mask always. Lanxa ngujayele kanganani ekhaya lapho engitshayisana khona lawe kumele nimeke sure ukuthi ule mask lami ngile mask.
True.
Sikhumbuzane nxa ungayigqokanga kuhle mina ngingayigqokanga kuhle ungesabi kungikhumbuza ukuthi hayi vala amakhala ungavali umlomo wodwa. Lezandla zethu lezi singatshona sikhuluma okuningi ngokuthi i-COVID ingafika laphana ngizayithatha. Mina ngisebenza esibhedlela anti. But khathesi imphakathi angaye ngathwala umsebenzi wami. Though at one stage ngangathi ngono ngishiye lokhu ngizathatha i-COVID. But no. Ungenza into eziyizo, the right things. Ugeza izandla zakho, uzisanitize. Uyabu safe.
Wow. And sisesekhonapho lokhu sixwayisa ngokuthi silandele lezi zeluleko zokuthi sivikeleke. Kathesi sokuthe kwaba lokwekethiswa kweminye yemithetho efana labo lockdown lan osokusenza ukuthi mhlawumbe omunye umuntu esengathi nje ukurelaxa kancane athi hayi mhlawumbe lolu bhubhane alusela amandla kodwa kusaqhakathekile ukuthi sizivikele. Mazwibani nje amafitshane nje ongathi ukusishiyela wona ukuze sikhuthazeke sisizwa phela ngawe mongikazi ukuthi siziphathe kanjani.
Ngiyabonga khaya. Balaleli kuqhakathekile ukuthi ngathathi iCovid njengomdlalo. The disease is there and no one knows ukuthi yaphela mhlakabani. The disease ihamba ubuhlungu bayo ukuthi siyayiphefumula. Ayicatheleki. Mina ngiyethuka kakhulu ukuthi engagula I don't know. Ngangena etown ngiyethuka kakhulu khaya ukuthi ethanda nxa ngifungene eshop nginangasangenanga. Abantu bamizelana vele ngana kuzange kwenzakale lutho. Abantu baba mask up bangabona ipolice abakhwezi mask. Ezifa ama mask lawo ama passport odle emapholiseni. Abantu ngabe siyazinanzelela nje ukuthi wenza kwethu ikho uzasilalisa iCovid lokho ikhona ayikapheli.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi uthe watsho.
Sidle kuhle. Masithi sidle kuhle asideni kakhulu fruits and vegetables. Senze lama home remedies ona lawo aphathisa. Ukuthi vele ungayibambi yona iflu. Yes, sesakhuluma ngayo muvu.
Wow. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi usikhuthaze kangaka ngoba njengoba usitsho nje abantu kusuka nje kube lokukhohlwa lokungathi nje kulokuyekethisa ekuthini sizivikele. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi uthe wasitshela amazwi aqhakathekileyo amqoka kangaka. Sibonga lokuthi uthe wasila uyisibonelo esihle njalo ngoba uchilo la ngokuqhakatheka ukuthi umuntu alandelele izeluleko ayabeziphiwa ukwenzela asile kulolu bhubhane la ngabe ethe wabanjwa yilo. Siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho.
Ngiyabonga khaya, ngiyabonga yini balaleli, always take the next person as a suspect ngaleyo ndlela mbonga sizaphila. Thank you very much.
Ukubeke kwacaca siyazibongela.
Yes.
Always treat the next person as a suspect. That's how to go about it. Akwenzela sivikeleke. And of course, this program was brought to you by the Zimbabwe Christian Alliance under the Church's Convergence on Peace and Conflict. So this is a consortium of Christian organizations actively working in communities across all 10 provinces in the country to promote peace and reconciliation in Zimbabwe. Ebesixoxisana phela laphana lo Sanelisiwe Nyamambi, who is a survivor of COVID-19. She is a matron at Mpilo Central Hospital and also the hospital's public relations officer. Asibonga kakhulu ukuthi uthe wabelana lathi ulwazi oluqhakatheke kangaka lokuthi siziphathe kanjani.
Siya